What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Teen Mom 2 star Kailyn Lowry had a lot to say about her sister, her half-sister, Michaela, on this week's episode of Teen Mom 2. She was supposed to go to Dallas to visit her sister and her friend Sterling as well, get all of the kids together so they could have a whole bunch of fun. But just before the trip, Kail's sister Michaela texts her and tells her, listen, I was bit by a dog. I'm in a lot of pain right now, so I can't go to Dallas to see you guys. I'm so sorry. And instead of even wondering how hard this dog bite was, if her sister's okay, what can I, how can, you know what I mean? This is a really hard thing to go through, a dog bite. Kail just decides to write her sister off. She says, listen, I'm never gonna reach out to her again. She's making excuses so that she doesn't have to see me, etc., etc. And prior to this, she also mentions how she and her sister at that point hadn't spoken for about 6 weeks, which is a very long time for sisters to go without speaking, especially when they are on the mend, in the case of Kail and Michaela. They didn't grow up together, so it's not the same as you and I and our sisters, but 6 weeks nonetheless with someone that you're trying to build a relationship with is quite a long time to go without speaking, but I digress. Anyway, Michaela is not taking too kindly to the way that she was portrayed on this week's episode of the show, so she's been speaking out all over social media. Here's what she had to say on Facebook, for instance. She said, and I quote, "For those of y'all that still keep up with Teen Mom 2, I need to speak a tad on my side of the story. I got bit by a dog. That is not something to laugh at, mock, or make a joke about. I was lucky to not have nerve damage. I had fat oozing out of my wound. I had a hard time walking for a week. I don't like being made to look like the bad guy when I am not. If you know me, you know that I would drop everything in a heartbeat for anyone. I can't put other people's needs above my health. I just can't. There's two sides to every story, and I wish I could have defended myself." It sounds like a very painful thing that she went through. It must have been an incredibly deep dog bite for fat to be oozing out of her wound, and for, nerve damage to have potentially been on the table as well. My heart 100% goes out to Michaela, because that just sounds absolutely horrific. And some people who were critiquing the way she handled it, by not proposing another date to see Kayla, was like, listen, this girl was bit by a dog, right? The last thing on her mind is trying to find another time to see anybody. She doesn't know how long she's going to be out of commission. She's probably in so much pain, she's not even thinking straight. So to me, it made sense that she just canceled and didn't try to commit to other plans, because who knows, if she could even commit to those. And then if she doesn't, then oh, there she goes, she's a liar, you know what I mean? So I totally get why she would have just canceled and then tried to pick back up a little bit later on down the road. Anyway, Kail's biological father caught wind of the status update and probably what happened on the show as well. So he responded to Michaela's post on Facebook. He said, and I quote, "I was on the show too, and they made me look bad. I know what you mean about shouldn't have to defend yourself. I personally don't think that show is good for young girls to watch. I think it gives them the wrong idea about being a parent so young, among other things. It's just a bad show, I think. Sorry about your bad experience on the show. Been there, love, yeah." OMG, the dad, for him to say that the show made him look bad when he literally has never been present a day of Kail's life is just peak deadbeat father. It's peak toxic masculinity, GTFO. The show didn't make you look bad. You literally did not exist as a father to this girl, her seeing you on the show the one time you appeared was the one time she saw you in her life that she can remember, and that is all you're doing. That has nothing to do with MTV. I just cannot. I can't with the cognitive dissonance here. Apparently, Kail did catch wind of this and condemned her father, and told him the same thing. Listen, dude, the show didn't make you look bad. You've never been there for me or Michaela, so GTFO. I didn't get a screenshot of that when I went to look. It was already deleted, so I just got those two messages. But, if that is true, good on Kail for doing that. Michaela also decided to take to Twitter to air her grievances against the show and Kail and her portrayal on it, and she had a series of tweets. The first one read, "I almost had nerve damage from the dog bite, could barely walk for a week. It's not something to laugh about. Literally the only reason for me not going up to Dallas. Hashtag Teen Mom 2. Also, not to mention, my mom passed only a couple months before this. I was in effing pain mentally, physically, and emotionally. There's two sides to every story. And imagine what this world would be like if no one would lie, arguments were settled instead of avoided, and people heard people out instead of making assumptions. Listen, I have so much sympathy going out to Michaela at this point because it is very true, and Kail said as much on the show. Michaela's mom had just passed away. So to still be grieving like your mom hardcore, and then to deal with a really huge dog bite on top of that, it's a lot. It truly is. Like, I just don't get why Kail did not give her any leeway, you know, at all, or even like try to check in on her, something. So again, I reached out to Michaela. I told her, listen, you are more than welcome here to share your side of the story, because, you know, she was complaining that she didn't get to get her side of the story shared. So I said, listen, we're here ready to listen to you when you're ready to share your side of the story. And she said, you know, right now she's not ready to talk. I can only say that what you see on camera is not even half the story. There's always two sides to a story. I'm not the bad guy though, as stated in my Facebook post. So that's all I've got for now. But if she chooses to come here for like a live Q&A, or maybe we just DM on Twitter and I share the message, I will 1000% share everything with you guys. Oof, isn't it sad to see reality television continue to tear families apart? Not that there was a very strong foundation in this family to begin with. What do you think about the situation and the way that Kail handled Michaela's dog bite? Make sure to let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.